What are you doing? Burning the house down? Really? Come on. Huh. Yeah, it's my Filipino wife there doing her Friday night Seder, Saturday nights, Saturday Sabbath functions. The evening function does that Friday night, and now it's end of the Sabbath doing this. Yeah, bye bye, die, bye bye, die, bye bye, die. Yep. Anyway, how's that for a final finale of the Hebrew Sabbath? Okay. What else are we going to have tonight here to look into? Fire the computer up here, boot it up. Actually, I have a little nap here, so myself too. I guess. I was just looking at. I'm going to turn this sideways here. I don't know how that works out for you. And boot up the computer. I don't know whether it's a picture of the River Rhine or something. I don't know what that is. I was looking at altimeter for our aircraft. Yeah, it's from the weather station. Guess what? The old fella I saw online said the weather station wasn't working. Oh, so then they didn't have the proper altimeter setting on that aircraft landing. Yeah. Well, what else is new? So there's a lot of times, not just one problem here. So we'll see what happens. Helicopter attacked by Houthis. Then this happened. Okay, I think that was kind of repeat. So much of this stuff is so repeat. I saw Wyoming license plate in Calgary, Alberta today. Went back to the house. It's right near our place. Oh. The lady answered. She was actually from Mexico. It's her son's vehicle. Oh, he just put the license plate on the back. On the front, actually. Alberta is one of the few provinces that only requires the license plate on the back. We only have one plate here. Saskatchewan has two. I don't know about all the provinces or states, but he could get a little static. I think it's not just an advertisement some people put in the front. I could have remembered that, but having an out-of-state plate at the front of a Alberta Canadian vehicle, don't know if that's altogether legal. You're getting some static for that. Anyway, I was interested in knowing what's happening down in Wyoming. So if anybody from Wyoming or down that Yellowstone area around, I can't believe all this clickbait stuff. Most of the trucks coming up to Canada don't seem to be traveling that road as often. We used to take that route because we tried to save some fuel if you're loaded heavy going south. Now they got big horsepower and just burn that fuel. Going through Butte, Montana, up that with big hills and stuff through an interstate. We'd go scooting through the Yellowstone Park, go for lunch and coffee there, and take an hour or two off and go rent a snowmobile, go snowmobiling. Yeah, not anymore. Big panic to go. A lot of times when we were coming back, we didn't have as much time. They wanted to load, especially if we were with bananas. A big panic to get the bananas to Alberta. Yeah, they'd run on 2 drivers all the way down to Helena, Montana or someplace, because you're supposed to stop and sleep there for 10 hours. They'd pick up the load and keep going. Yeah, a real panic. Why? Because they gas bananas. They got to get to the warehouse, got to get in the stores because they're starting to turn rot. They're grass green. Even the organic bananas had the same gas on it. Da, 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 da. Organic. Okay, organic what? Only a percentage of it needs to be organic. The rest of it, okay. And this is what's chicken manure and everything else, and the pig manure on it. Organic what? Yeah, I've got all this carrier airstrike and everything else here. I was looking for the patience here. Yeah, there's a toddler fell 15 stories in bushes. He survived it. Hey, rather amazing. Backtrack here. See if we can find this airplane thing in San Diago game or not. I don't know. I maybe lost it. Okay. There was other things there. But that's what I found out lately. I actually looked it up on the phone here. My wife hasn't showed how to get stuff from my phone onto YouTube, so I don't really know how to do that. Maybe we should get some background. Just got a desk lamp on here. Doing my YouTube here. Yep. Got some strawberries here. Some black beans here. Okay. Oh, some garbage. Okay. In our humble abode here. Yeah. Do you have a look around here? Real fancy. Right? So what are we going to look up here tonight? What would you like to read? How? This is airplane calamity time. Okay? That's what I wanted to comment on that a little bit. Hey, Psalms 90. We're going to fly away. Did you know that? It's not in the Old Testament. Yeah, really? Not in the Old Testament, right? Let's see, what do we got here? Psalms 90. Here we go. Fly away. Really? 10. Yeah, some of my friends don't even make that. 10. It's 60 years old. And if reason of strength, they're 4. That's 4. 4 times a score is 20. That's 80. Well, my one friend's 92. Okay? He's still trucking around. No, he's not. He was a chaplain at the one truck stop here. 900 a month less to live. About an hour and a half away from Calgary, at a small town where the meat plant is that I think they process just pork there. That's another thing. Maybe I can find that. I text some people that, have you heard of this? Okay? You can genetically alter meat. No, this is after that, I think it was. Came across that. Genetically alter the pork because people are becoming allergic to the beef. Why? They had, some of the people that got these Lyme tick problems, all these ads. TV used to have to sit there. Oh yeah, here, Ocean Flora, Florida. I think it was before that. Yeah, who knows that about? DC shooter, maybe it's before that. Park ranger, I wonder that. So if you're from Yellowstone, you should give me my phone number, 403-830-4124. No, here. Doctor reveals undisclosed risk of COVID. Okay, the vaccines. There's a little bit before that, I think. I was scrolling through this a little bit. See what this one is. Go back up here. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is back here. Because I really think this has an effect. The one pilot said, and I know in the trucking industry, they're compromising. Take your meds, get your blood pressure down, and you're okay, good to go. Okay. 9/11 data. Okay, here. Engineered ticks make you allergic to red meat. Whoa, what is that all about? Okay? Hey, like, that's a topic and a half. And you think none of this stuff is affecting transportation? Really? Okay? Huh. Alpha, there's one. Let's see, alpha gal syndrome. COVID vaccines are collapsing. I think my stepson had a question. How come all these incidences with airplanes? Well, you can't just pull over when you're going to just about pass out, are you? Hey, I had incidences a little bit like that in town here. Maybe it was what good thing I wasn't driving a semi on a highway. Just pull over and kind of regroup my thoughts here, like what happened here. Well, fly away. Well, I don't think it was talking about an airplane in Psalms 90. We're high tech now, aren't we? And what's happening? Well, you know, this plane didn't have an autopilot to make sure the guy, I don't know, it was a small jet. He's not set on autopilot when he's coming in for landing, maybe, or whatever. So there's issues. Okay. I know a few pilots. Years ago, a farmer just north of us had a small little plane. Just teenagers. My dad, I don't know what the arrangement was. The guy liked to go around. My dad let us go up in this guy's little plane. Another guy had just a passenger plane set up for doing some crop spraying, not a proper crop spraying plane. Yeah, he got in a downdraft on the edge of the valley and killed himself. Plane caught on fire and he died in the fire. Guy tried to pull him out, pulled the skin off his arms. The guy was badly burnt himself trying to get the guy out of the wreck. So, now we can use these big drones. Oh, there's a business opportunity for people. Canada's finally made them legal. I could take somebody off the reservoir here in minutes. City council discusses, just put up a few more signs and put a gate on the road. Oh, their liability is covered. Oh, Calgary Fire Department said it's going to take 40 or 50 minutes if the boat wasn't busy on the Bow River here. Fly away. Yeah. He turneth rivers in the wilderness and water springs into dry ground. Oh, remember the story about him turning the storm and calm to the waves thereof? Well, he's fulfilling the text. He said he would do this. Okay? calmed the storm. He walked on the water. Everything else. Okay, walked in the water. Peter came out of the boat and got dunked again. Baptism coming up here June 1st. Just east of Calgary, Alberta. A small little oversized lake. They have to trim the weeds off. It's Chestnut Lake, east side of the town, of the lake, just on the south side of the town. Okay, maybe some of the Americans can make it up to this. 1,400 people in Oklahoma as adults we baptized. Turn the rivers into wilderness. That's in Zechariah 14. Okay, want to go to that? Why? Because it's actually happening now. These things are happening right in front of our faces. We're not being told. Zechariah, Amos 1 or 2. Talk to some Palestinians. Well, this one is not underlined in this particular one. You can see Gaza, Amos 1:7. Hey, that was written a long time ago. That was before Gaza even existed. Oh my goodness. What's it talking about? Okay. Yeah. What do you think Gaza came about? Isaiah 29. You can look at that one too. You can go all night at this. Showing you verses that graves were open and body saints. Yeah, they came out. Matthew 24. No man knows the exact hour of day. That was before he ascended. Okay? Here what? And shall be in that day living waters go out of Jerusalem. How do you think there's surviving in Gaza? There's river water flowing out from the mountains. Yeah. They're probably growing mushrooms underground too, like they did in North Korea. And they did that in France during the Nazi occupation in the catacombs underground. Yeah, they buried the dead under these caverns too. They cut out the rock underneath. Why do you think they built the city there? Didn't have massive trucks to hold the stuff, so they cut the caverns out underneath to bring, I think, Paris. Okay? That's where these catacombs underneath the cities come from. It's on and on. We're going to fly away. Well, we're flying around. We're crashing them. Some people want to be cryogenically frozen to be resurrected later on. Okay? So when man comes up with enough medical knowledge to solve the problems, I'm not going to wait for some man to do this. He's going to do it. I don't think you're going to have to worry about if man has solved the medical problems. Okay? The mortal becomes immortal. What did I just hear today? Oh, yeah. People coming back, all these stories of the dead coming back from seeing heaven. Well, that sounds nice. What did you see at heaven? Santa Claus? Really? I don't really buy it. Okay? We're dead. We're dead. We have to be resurrected. I grew up with these Canaanite thinking. But here's a Hebrew guy teaching what? Coming back for a conference, talking about, what, 2 million people around. I don't care if it's 10 million. Doesn't trump Donald Trump now. Doesn't trump the Word of God. Okay? What does this word say? You want to read it? And the graves were open, and many body of the saints which slept arose. Well, why? Why would they have to rise? They're already in heaven. That's Canaanite thinking. That's what the Orthodox Jews. And they traveled the Mediterranean before they were enslaved. You think that didn't affect entire Mediterranean thinking? Rome too? Okay? and came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city. People try to discredit this. They rolled up the hill. The reference was even made, Jerusalem is on the mountaintop. Rolled up the hill. No. And this is what affected the centurion. He'd seen the earthquakes and stuff before. Making a statement like this, he could be court-martialed for this. And in those days, it took court-martial very serious. Yeah. Like, what? That's why they were so afraid, too, when the tomb was empty. Hey, these guys are in big trouble. Okay? You're supposed to stand guard. And now the tomb's empty? What? And they wanted to kill Lazarus, too. Why? They were appointed by Rome. False priesthoods. The true priest, John the Baptist, is in the wilderness. By his father lineage, he was a high priest. He should have been high priest too. Read it. John was in the wilderness doing what? Baptizing. That's the Holy Spirit power. They're talking about it a little bit today. Need the Holy Spirit power. But then they're holding to these other views. Well, I wonder what they're even going to do out of Chesmer. If I asked him to rebaptize me, he didn't really want to even do it last time in the Jordan River. Yeah. I asked the other group. Holy Ghost returned from Jordan. There it is. It was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. Yeah. Was it a bird that came on Jesus? How come Jesus got? He's our example. Okay? Was from Jordan. Yeah. He got dunked in the Jordan. So did I. I wrote it down here. After baptized. Okay? So what's oh yeah, well, I don't really claim to be one of these people. But there it is. Hey, Canadians don't want to listen. Okay? See, there is timing, appears. How come he waited an extra 2 days to go and resurrect Lazarus? A day is 1,000 years? How many far are we? 1,997 years now. Okay. And how many more years will we be into the new millennium? Hey. What was the April 8th, 2024 solar eclipse all about? It was a timeline marker. No. The Hebrew calendar is not accurate. Sorry. When it said the king reigned 40 years, he didn't mean exactly 40 years. It could have been 40 years and 11 months. We need to go by his calendar. That's what he put in the... Okay? Gregorian calendar goes from his approximate birth. No, when did he fulfill the prophecy? You just read it. He walked on the water. He fulfilled the prophecy by his shed blood. He became the second Adam. Okay? Sorry, people. We're not on the right calendars. We're teaching stuff pre-trib. Omer countdown. Oh yeah, I mentioned that a little bit. For Pentecost. That already happened. Sorry. You know, people will be mocking and scoffing. See, it's not gonna happen. Hey, just because we're all human and make mistakes, the kid sees the ship coming on the horizon. The ship! Or, remember the show? The plane! My one son could do that. You never see a plane on the horizon, looking around. Oh, he could see it. Okay? Which doesn't mean it's the right plane or the right ship. But eventually it'll come in. This plane just touched down a little bit too soon. He was coming in for landing, and my stepson's down there. He confirmed it. Yeah, I believe it did hit the power line. Yeah, the altimeter was not maybe at the correct setting. Why? The reading is given by the weather tower. And no, the conversation was the guy even told him it's not working. Okay, so you got a problem. Severe fog. Little distractions. Little overtired. They left the East Coast. It happens. Here, Hebrews, the doctrine of baptism and laying on hands. Baptisms doesn't say one. Oh, wow. What does people want to teach? Well, I got baptized sprinkled as a kid, or I got baptized once here or there. Well, every time I've gotten re-baptized, once early teen, when I started realizing something, once when I started learning about the Sabbath. Hey, want to be technical? Passover is a high annual Sabbath, Mr. Adventist. You think you're so technical about the fourth day, but you don't want to learn. Go forward, Acts 16:11. Guy's got a real good teaching about that. About King James. Yeah, I prefer the King James too. Okay? They try to discredit King James after he was dead. They've been trying it ever since 1611. 7 years to form it together. Well, there might be some little odd corrections. Now they got it digital. Everything else, it's copyrighted. So now all these businesses have to change enough to get their version copyrighted so they can make $1 on their versions. Follow the money trail. Hey, the love of money is the root of all sorts of evil. Yeah, even trying to change his written word. Get together with people with other languages. I like to do that. Well, but they maybe have some of these newer translations to their language too. Beware what's going on. I saw the hologram in Israel. There was no wall to touch. There was a tabernacle at Shiloh coming down. The guy says, well, no, you only can have these holograms in an enclosed building. No. What really happened at 9/11 in New York? Big question mark. Okay, just happened to find the passports and all this rubble. Really? It was on BBC News. A police officer remembered it as a kid. Okay, conversation closed. Okay. Isaiah, oh, there's my phone number. Okay, I got it written down. 403-830-4124. Oh, you try to phone these other people, you get to talk to the office managers or something, or the receptionist. They're busy flying around the world. Not that many flights into Israel anymore, but I appreciate Mark Blitz, but he just got back from Israel again. I thought he was going with this other, I think Australian, or whatever, fellow, more Pentecostal style, going this fall again. What? Once a year not enough? You got to go twice? I don't know. Must be another conference there. There it was I was looking at. Woe to Ariel. Hey, Robbie Singer. You got my phone number? There it is again. Okay? I challenge you. You want to deny your state of Israel? Hey, very political issue, but you want to deny it being there? This is the times we live in. Ariel, who's it talking about? Well, I'll read it further down. Fourth, deep sleep. Now, little discernment here. This is not a sleep already of resurrected from. He had to die. After I heard he died, I thought he had died years ago. Yeah, 8 years. 8 is the number of new beginnings. I had to check this out with people that go to this Hebrew group. That's a sheep farm tomorrow. Not going out there because nobody at the repair shop at Airdrie tomorrow. So I text the other fellow, maybe get together with him. He's not working tomorrow. Yeah, he would prefer to have the Sabbath, but nobody seems to give him a job and offer to pay his bills. It's not one to them that stumble, you know. Okay, I can relate to him. Real problem having had a trucking job with a guy that was real technical about the Sabbath. Anxiously waiting for the clock to turn when he could go out and harvest all night. Driving truck for him? Well, so much for a paycheck. According to his thinking, the truck didn't make any money. Didn't look after it properly. Had some major repairs. Okay. I guess if I blew the engine out, I would owe him money. See how they justify? What? And you expect to work for these people? Oh, put a little offering on the plate and everything's okay. Get a tax deduction. And the pastor, of course, he didn't want to do nothing because they're influential in their congregation. No. Okay. Supposed to work for these people? You gotta be kidding me. Okay. So I'm trucking through Lethbridge. I happen to stop by there. Next thing you know, I'm getting checked out the door. Why? Oh, they got their quarterly publication. Don't want to steer too much track off of that. But when I said something about Adam told Eve, well, that didn't go down very well. And I said that Adam should have corrected Eve for the mistake. Well, elbow in the guy's rib. He gets up. I saw it coming. Another guy gets up, and I'm out the door like, bingo. Well, later on, in a Hebrew group, years later, somebody comes up to me and introduces themselves. Well, if I hadn't brought up the issue, they might have still been sitting at the Adventist. Like, what? No, even though my wife is Filipino, and the guy sees the hologram, didn't like me talking to the teenagers, even though I had the parents' permission. And they learned about the volcano going on Mexico, why it's so dry up north. But no. They were supposed to be in attendance listening to him. Oh, actually, I was downstairs. We're supposed to be half block down. So upstairs was full. I was downstairs. The wife even saw me. She's working, preparing their oneg lunch. But no, I'm out the door. I try to have a meeting to arrange them. Here's what it's asked about the Pope when he died. I said, well, here's my answer. And the many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Well, Ariel Sharon and the Pope, if they don't want to believe in Yeshua and trust him and rather pray to think there are other things or there are other Orthodox stuff, we will all stand if we're not in the first resurrections. Lazarus got resurrected too. Yeah, on the fourth day. What was it? Why the fourth day? Because the Orthodox Jews still does Canaanite thinking out of body that we hover around for 3 days. So he put it in their Orthodox faces. I am the resurrection. I am the life, and he resurrected him physical body. But then the preacher says he died again. You will not find that in this word. This is man's opinion. That's what psychology is. That's what we're promoting here. Abomination that maketh desolate. Oh, they'd like to have reference for that. Well, how exactly does a dietary thing cause people's love to wax cold? A lot of people don't go along with this dietary stuff. They're scavengers of air, land, and sea, yes. And believe me, you want to get into the beef stuff? Talon. What's a talon? I was tracking it around. I don't know. It's what? I thought it was a measure. Right? Much the same wording. Liquefied animal parts, fats and bones and stuff from the slaughterhouses with industrial grade canola oil. Canola oil, Canada oil. I know the name of it. I voted on it as a seed producer. I was growing it for seed production. No, I don't cook with it. I put it in my diesel fuel tank as a lubricant. Okay, here. This one's got the 1,290 days. Why is that? Well, it says the abomination gives a number here. 1,305 and 30 days. Well, 1,305 and 30 days. Now, have I got my numbers right there? Looking at it again here. Have to double check. Although it doesn't hurt to double check what we're doing here. Anyway, 1,290 days subtract from when this happened. Sacrifice ended. Okay. Well, what year does the temple destroy? And what year did the Julian calendar? 1220. Hey, I don't know. That's what Google said. Call me if I'm wrong. Let's discuss it, Mr. Adventist. You want to say this is for the 1844 situation with sanctuary in heaven. Oh, why? They're just trying to justify their human mistake at 1844. Hey, sorry. Solar eclipse 1811, Mississippi water running backwards. I guess all these groups thought the world was coming to an end. Hey, their little world was being rocked big time. Like, don't rock the boat. Their world was being rocked big time. How come the War of 1812 happened in 1812? Yeah, that was a major navigational route. Mississippi water is still under American Military Engineering Corps. Correct me if I'm wrong. They want to make sure they get as much water as they can down that Mississippi for navigation. The other year was getting a little low, little problems. So there is an area in northern Montana on the Missouri that feeds in. Apparently there's indications that the watershed could go either way depending on the snow and the spring melt. Could actually flow north into Canada. Oh, we've got to make sure it's going down the Mississippi. So maybe they were out there doing some digging way, way back in history, prior to Custer's last stand. And yeah, they probably got the guns from the British through fur trading in the Hudson Bay area. Okay, this is happening. And they started finding gold when they're doing some of this digging. So there was a gold rush in Montana. So that's from all it kind of states in history. Why were they out digging there in the first place? To make sure the water flows southward. And the natives knew it. And they fought. And we have in Montana, Custer's last stand. Okay? So history continues. They hung Louis Rel from Montana and Regina, Saskatchewan, 1880. But what's Canadians being taught? Last war was 1812 in Quebec. And it wasn't with the Canadian forces or French forces. It was with the British. And it was a winter that decimated the American forces. They didn't have airplanes then either. Back to our topic of the day, airplanes. Yeah. We've done amazing things. Well, what are we doing now? Can't even seem to put cameras on the bottom side of an aircraft in Washington, D.C.? Why? Because the FAA doesn't approve it? Ask yourself, Mr. American. Why is it Canadian aircraft had to lift American out of Antarctica in the middle of the winter when there was a medical problem? Why a Canadian plane? I was really questioning that, and I'm the type of person I'm very curious. And I run off down the rabbit trail. Pastors not going to go down that rabbit trail. Well, why not? They want to stick to their notes. I go down the rabbit trail. I find the rabbit hole, and I start digging. You don't find the gold nugget laying on the top. My friend doesn't want to rent his gold detection equipment to me. Everything's going good now. He's got friends maybe with his motorbike. Doesn't play chess with his other friend. He was big time into atheism. He kind of pushed my button one time when the guy went to the washroom and we had an argument. He was wondering what that was all about when he got back. Well, the other day he got impatient with me. I said, well, you're the one that phoned me and texted me at 5:30 in the morning. What are you doing? So he maybe had a few bouts. Maybe had a run-in with somebody else already. He's not working. He's a workaholic. He likes working so he can get money for his 200-mile-an-hour motorcycle, modify his snowmobiles, and he's going to patent it and sell it. Yeah, well, good luck on that one. Okay? But he wanted to pump me for information about crowdfunding. Yeah, see, I put down the rabbit trail. Hey, what's there? You're not going to find the pearls at the bottom of the ocean. Okay, you got to dive deep. Here's what some people do. Hey, you can memorize the whole thing. You can learn all the Hebrew you want. What does it say? Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. Hey, Rabbi Singer, you know so much. But he says what? Oh, this is in the New Testament, see? And it's all distorted. Okay. You don't have to go. I'll go back to Zechariah. Okay. Zechariah 14. Here's what the Orthodox Jews is teaching. He's going to come to the Mount of Olives, and he's going to resurrect them. Yeah, they pay big money to be buried there. I saw the plaque. Who's the Brockmans from Saskatchewan? Hard liquor steam distillation. Really? And they're going to be the ones that are resurrected. Now, what does it say? Saints come with him. I wrote down White Horse. Some people want to teach that. That's a coming Antichrist. Come on. They got it all in the future yet. Armstrong from California. Herbert W. Armstrong. His own son had a falling out when he got on the TV. Herb got on the radio. Where did he get his initial backing from? United Church of God. Hey, they're more of a splinter group. And they want to teach nobody's gone to heaven. Well, that's a nice thought. Where'd they go? I guess Elijah just met up with Enoch in some cave. Oh, my goodness. No. The saints, the ambassadors are already... I talked to Lutheran pastor about this. Keep of Tabernacles, Feast of Tabernacles. But what do we want? Oh, everybody likes a little baby. Perry Stone. Yeah, third generation. He was interesting stuff. Now he's going backwards as far as I'm concerned. Every Pentecostal style. Every thought that comes into his mind is a divine revelation. Really? Everybody likes a little baby. There's no sheep in the high country of Israel in December. Mr. Adventist, you want to still keep that? Okay? Feast of Tabernacles, you don't want to talk about it. That's in the fall. 9 months after Hanukkah. Duh! Listed how many times? 3 times here. There it is. 1, 2, 3. Did you graduate high school? Well, the teacher wrote it on the blackboard back when I was, or whiteboard, or electron, whatever. Underlined it and everything. He mentioned it 3 times. If you haven't got the clue by now, when he mentioned it 3 times, it's on the exam. This is important. But are we taught it? Oh, no, that's in the Old Testament. Yeah. I'll show you the one they like from the Old Testament. You know which one they like? Oh, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. Yeah. What? Malachi chapter 3. Now what's it say here? You oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, that turn aside, stranger from his right. Yeah, my mother had already died. My dad outlived my mother. He was old enough to be my grandfather. Okay? Working for the Adventist. He didn't even come to my father's funeral. Okay? And then he doesn't pay me. And I'm supposed to keep working for him. Really? Will a man rob God? Well, they just robbed the hireling?
Have it turned down your voice, please.
Oh, my wife thinks I'm being too outspoken here. Really? Okay. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's getting late and maybe people are sleeping upstairs. Okay. Okay. She's reminding me to keep quiet. Okay. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse. There it is. Oh, did they like this one? What? After you take from others forcefully? Yeah. Interest on money is a form of stealing from the poor. Demanding payment when they can't afford to. Yeah, they did. I found that they did in Ireland. What? They had pawned off their fishing gear surrounded by water because they needed to put some crop in the ground to have some food. And the next potato harvest they were hoping, but it was even worse. Now they don't even have the fishing gear and they wouldn't give it back to them so they could have some food. Oppress the hireling. And you're going to put it in an offering plate and think he's going to bless us? He will not bless us. And we even want a tax deduction on top of it from an atheistic government system? Oh. Why do you think a lot of the places didn't try to take this neutral position? You know what Jesus said about neutral position? Be hot or cold, get off the fence. Decide which side you're on here. Talent of lead. That's Zechariah, there's 6:5. Talent of lead. That's from Shinner, Iran. This is happening now. I went to a soup kitchen maybe once or twice a week to encourage people. I showed that to a guy, and he was totally shocked. He knew this was written hundreds of years ago. I said 2,500 years ago. He says, how's that possible? I says, he's the Alpha and Omega. What did the April 8th solar eclipse form? It was 7 years prior. The solar eclipses. Okay? And only with aircraft or a drone they saw the letter O formed in Euphrates River when it was one of the times when it was at the lowest. I believe that was the same time as the solar eclipse happening. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's discuss this. Am I swamped calls? No. What are these people afraid of? You go talk to them, oh, they're too busy, never had time to look into all the baptized people in the U.S. Too busy. Too busy doing what? Small community in Manitoba one time. Mennonite church on every corner. Other groups moving in, they're thought they're nice. Oh, they're so nice. Why? Rent the library to other people, other groups, because they got a charitable tax deduction. The guy said he was too busy. Later on, I see him going down the street with a bicycle. Only one of these Tim Hortons in the whole town. Tim Hortons got only city in the U.S. I think they caught on, but couldn't find it in Vegas when we were down there. Ended up talking to a veteran, lost his leg in I think the Vietnam War or something. And Buffalo, New York had a Tim Hortons, Canadian. Why? Tim Horton was a hockey player. He actually played for Buffalo, New York at one time, I guess. If they fall away to repentance, they crucify themselves, the Son of God, afresh. Put to him shame. No, he wants us to go forward. But are we even taught the oracles of God? Who has that? The commandments, ordinances, and statutes of God. You can go back and forth all day. It's all intertwined. And there is reasons why these things are happening around us. We're not being told about volcanoes going off. What do you think causes a hurricane? What do you think they start off the coast of Africa and come across the Atlantic? Where's the volcano? It's in the ocean. How do I learn these things? Hey, life is school. You still got a pulse? You still above ground? Well, then learn. But they got a diploma, they don't want to learn. You don't want to learn about Zechariah chapter 5, the missiles going off. They don't want to learn. Why? Why did the false priests want him dead? Hey, they got a good thing going. Yeah, kind of quote a verse out of context. It's expedient that one man should die rather than the nation. Oh, they didn't want another war. Are they worried about the poor and downtrodden? Jesus scolded them. No. They had a good thing going. They were being paid by Rome. Just keep the ball rolling. Huh? I didn't even go to the Wailing Wall. The guy talked about that going down there. What? Gonna say write it down on a piece of paper and put it on a crack in the wall? Hey, maybe we should get down on our knees. Like Daniel did. Yeah. Daniel 7, change times and laws. Why do you think we got the Julian calendar and then the Gregorian? When did that happen? That's around the time of 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Who do you think was trying to get out of Spain? Spanish Inquisition was happening. Why? No odd law. Orthodox Jew stays on his side. Yep. But when they start learning about Jesus, Yeshua, oh my goodness, their little world bubble is coming to an end. Because they're both Jew and Gentile, not either or. Okay? What's being taught? What do you think the Ukraine war is all about, really? Oh, be sure there's other issues. But Russians don't want to live under Moscow control. The food went back to Moscow. Okay? I was surprised when Ukraine went into Russia there. I thought they'd go in and then they'd pull back out before kind of deter Russian troops up there, and they tried. But how come the people underground? How they fought? French underground fought against the Nazi Germany. They had trouble even maintaining control after occupation. Marched in there real fast, drugged up the operators, so they just drove day and night with the tanks. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, Putin thought he'd take Kiev in 3 days. Really? How has it got now? Almost 3 years later? I told people the drones are going to play a big part of the game. Okay? Very, very deadly game. And he didn't do anything after the Winter Olympics. Hey, he didn't want to tick China off. He wants help from China. China likes this. They're moving people up the coast, so is North Korea. What do you think North Korea's involved with there? Hey, they're just so buddies or what? No. I get in a little fight in high school, turn around with my cousin. He's gone. He ain't gonna stay around. What a take off on his little motorbike. I had a bigger dirt bike. Hey. On. How long we got here now? Coming up to an hour pretty soon. Maybe those watching the aircraft have gone off a long time ago. Okay. Maybe the guy, the river guy, he had a YouTube on here. I guess somebody's suing him. Didn't like the gospel message out there, as much as he's saying it, just more all pre-trib like a lot of Americans was. Hey, that already happened, 1st century AD, prior to Nero. That's Revelation 14, verse 4. Did we go there? Hey, other things to back it up? Here we are in 1 Thessalonians 4. How many have heard this? The dead are resurrected, him shall descend from heaven, and the dead in Christ shall be resurrected. Okay? What's verse 14 say? What? Rose again. Okay, we want to believe that. If you don't want to believe that, that's another whole topic, okay? We got the AD BC change in history and everything else. Like, wake up. It's in secular history, Josephus. Okay? So, don't go there thinking this never happened. Slept in Jesus. Will God bring him with him? What? It's right there. Yeah? Sometimes I have two Bibles out here. Revelation 14, verse 4. Let's go there. 144,000. Mr. Seven-Day Adventist, you want to have the three angels message? Well, that's part of it's in the same chapter, isn't it? Sure is. And JWs? Oh, you're 144,000. Really? Well, that happened prior to Nero. Okay? Like, let's bring it up to speed here. Okay? Here it is, the 144,000. Okay? Go down to verse 4. They're not defiled with women. Oh, really? Well, neither is Lazarus. Because he's a youthful virgin again. That's why. They couldn't find him at the garden. What are we taught? Guy thinks he didn't want his kids to be married. Well, the two oldest ones are married now. Hello. Okay. These were redeemed from being the first fruits, plural. Any farmers out there? You put one corn in the ground, do you expect this one back? Maybe with hybrid and everything else, you get maybe 200 back, but it's more or less 30 for wheat, 30, 60 for barley, which they grew, and 100-fold return for corn. What you talking about? This is the resurrection that already happened. Revelation 7, 12 times 12. Anybody know the math? What's 12 times 12? Okay, Revelation 7, the 12 tribes. Okay, 144,000. And this, behold, lo, a great multitude with no man could number. How many candles on the menorah? He's the center candle, Yeshua, the servant candle. How many candles on each side? Yeah. 3 raptures on each side. Oh, the rapture's not in the Bible. Well, it's in the Latin Vulgate. It's Latin. Okay? How many letters on top of the cross? How many languages was it written in? We're actually told. Greek was common, Roman was the rulers, and Hebrew. Oh, gee. But do you know some Hebrew? And then what? You think you know so much. Rabbi Singer's there. He think he knows so much, but he doesn't want to come to Yeshua. Why? Because he's already in the fold. He's going to be resurrected from the Mount Olives. Really? That's not what it says. He'll be resurrected after the 1,000-year reign to stand before Yeshua. And you deny him? I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. I really don't. Like, it warns of the second death. Hey, want to debate it? Unless you're the beast and the false prophet being thrown into the lake of fire, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay? Topic's closed. Okay? You're dead, you're dead. If you want to take this Canaanite stuff, you can stuff it with sun don't shine. You know what that means, don't you? Oh, am I a little too much to the point? I don't stop with nice, eloquent speech all the time? No. My wife gives me static without when I hang around the truck drivers too much. So you learn. Hey, here's something. But Canadians, maybe the Brits do this too. Different people use sign language. Scratch your nose with your one pointing finger. Well, your nose is itchy sometimes. And don't, you know why noses are so special, don't you? Yeah, they're handpicked. Huh? Okay, we kind of try to hide that away. You know, kids do that, huh? Okay. But just scratch your nose outside. Okay? When you're really ticked off at them, scratch it with that bigger index finger. Then they look at you and they don't really know you're scratching your nose or telling them to what? UK's got a sense of humor in some ways. KFC chicken. You know what they called it? FCK. Just kind of left out the O. That's a big no-no in Canada saying that. Or you can use G-O-D words and all you want. That's okay. But don't say the F word, F-bomb, as an adjective in your language. That's a big no-no. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. Oh, but that's all in the future yet. Right? Who came up with that teaching around the time of the Reformation? Oh, Well, maybe the Adventist does have a few things right. Because, yeah, Napoleon took 2 of the popes captive. I wonder if the Swiss Guard was still at the Vatican. I saw the Pope's funeral. Hey, these guys with the fancy hats, all colored up. The Swiss Guard, how come they're there? That happened when? These things, a lot of this stuff has already happened. And they're trying to push it all into the future yet? Back to the airplanes. We travel around the world now. How fast? People are saying it seems everything's speeded up because why? We travel around how fast? They died on Donor's Pass too. They didn't get through. They should have taken the longer route around. When you're with a loaded truck, the shortest route is not always the best route. Okay, I found that out. I went all the way around here, middle of a snowstorm, down in the low gears. Oh, good luck. With an old truck. Companies want to go through there? Hey, with a new truck under warranty, that's their choice. Okay? Guy wants to go from Vancouver with a loaded truck to Winnipeg, Manitoba. Which route you going, Mr. Trucker? You going through Rogers Pass? Not necessarily. Up the Coca-Cola? Yeah, well, a nice big new truck, you just put it on cruise control, get better mileage, and it shifts automatically now. Don't worry about them, really. Then they wonder where all the fuel's going. Okay? No. You go up the canyon, it's like a racetrack almost. Enough speed at the top, going down, so you curve well, and you're halfway up the top before you even hardly use fuel. Okay. Go up to Edmonton, Alberta, further north and down that way. Yeah, it's a well-known fact. The better shipping route for southern Canada, west from southern Alberta here, is down through Sparwood, BC, into Idaho. And they bring ships up the Columbia River now. Okay? Well, what do? Hey, we fly around. We don't worry about these things. The preachers don't know about this stuff. Okay, they fly around, have conferences with people that believe this out-of-body stuff. Really. And then we're supposed to... What? Which way's the wind blowing today? Okay, we're over an hour now, yeah. Well, I guess I'll call it a night. Okay, maybe it's getting late. Yeah, okay. Want a strawberry? Maybe. You know, they are tasting better than they used to be. You put too much fertilizer on, lots of water, they'll puff them up like a balloon. My uncle taught me that. That's why they tend to be hollow on the inside. But years ago, these big ones were pretty bad. Nice, smaller strawberries down in California. Oh, they're so nice. Wow. Yeah. Our preachers don't know this. Look it up. They're a more agrarian society. Who were the scribes? They were the scribes. The Pharisees, it's there you see. I have inherited wealth. I'm special. I say, they got their nose stuck up their rear. Political appointments by Rome. And what are we doing again? Who are we listening to? They don't know this stuff. The guy came from Jamaica. doesn't even know they're flooding. Does he care? They're not there. Not my problem. I'm not there anymore. Really. I would say the love is waxing cold, wouldn't you? You want to look at that one? The graves are open. Okay. Matthew 24 we're going to go to. Oh yeah, here, end of 24, it talks about no man knows exact hour or day. Well, doesn't say anything about the seasons, does it? And he's not talking winter, summer. And that was before he ascended, by the way. What are you really teaching? That the Father and the Son haven't talked to each other for over 1,000 years? What are you talking about? He said he will call us friends and he will tell us like Lazarus. He called Lazarus a friend. He resurrected Lazarus. But Lazarus got to die a second time. Do you see how twisted it is? The abomination has spoken by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place. Well, that's got to be a repeat of the third temple, doesn't? The second temple, all already destroyed, so we got to have a third one because we have to have an abomination in the holy place. Is that what he's really talking about? What do most people perceive to be a holy place? With these gurus, because of iniquity, that's what we do knowingly with the love of many. Love of many shall wax coals. Other words, you just say grow coals. I'm going to take the wax out. Maybe you won't see as much of the connection there. Why does the love grow or wax cold? It's not a dietary thing. Covetousness is the 10th commandment, Mr. Adventist. Get off your high horse. Paul had to get kicked off his high horse. I learned it. The goad is a stick to make the oxen move. Because you don't want to learn. Okay? Because you got a diploma. You think you got a nice thing going. Just don't rock the boat. Really? Well, Jesus is rocking the boat big time. And say, if we had been in the days of the fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. You're so sure of yourself, you're just confirming. You're just like they were. Yeah. You're so full of psychological, twisted self-esteem. That's just a play on the word pride. Wherefore you be witnesses unto yourselves, you are the children of them that killed the prophets. No, not the prophesying something off the top of your head. 50-50 chance the guy would get it right and you got it wrong. But he's the big prophet. Blow it out your ear. You're taking the word of God. The mysteries Paul referred to are being revealed. Yeah, these things are happening. Not just in the future. Amos was a herdsman. Says it. He wasn't a scholar. I've been there at seminary. I seen what was going on. They actually told me to leave, Mr. Adventist. Locombe, Alberta. Yeah. Do you want to believe this is Zechariah chapter 5? There it is. A flying roll. Flying through the air. Read the old commentaries. You wonder what they're even talking about. Okay? No. You force the piece in and luck's not too bad. He warns about it. Building on another man's foundations. Take it out. Pre-trib happened, Mr. American. So what's the next event? It's called mid-trib or pre-wrath. It's terminology as far as I'm concerned. A truck is a lorry in the UK. Okay? We're like kids straining at gnats and what? Nitpicking over. Are we taking care of the poor and downtrodden? He says he will raise us from the dunghill. Yeah. But friends of mine pretending they don't remember me now. Really? How's convenient. Well, maybe some of them are all doped up, so I text him a couple times. He never even replies. Okay? Why? Who helped them make the money, maybe? I'm hoping to see the Bosnian guy yet. He really liked the idea of flipping commercial real estate. Didn't like the ideas of big drones. There's a business opportunity to have for railways and everything. How about growing mushrooms underground to help heat the greenhouse in northern areas? Hey, they got southern windows in China. Roll down an insulated tarp on the outside. What, we can't learn from one another? Help one another? Where do you think we got drip irrigation from? My uncle's using it on his strawberries. Where do you think he got that from? Israel developed it. Just a little hose. You get the siphoning, hook it up over. You can even make water going uphill. Yeah. Kind of shocking. People laughed at my old uncle. I shouldn't have been so silly in my later years too. Should have went and seen him before he died. I went and saw my other old uncle. He was a mayor one time. He appreciated it. My brother sucked up to him, got his farm. He was really ticked at that. Only 10 miles away, never went to see the old guy. But no, he's a pillar of community. But he turns around and practically spits on my father's grave. He doesn't believe it. Hey, what's his God? Show me the money. Okay? That's all he's interested in. He doesn't believe in any of this. Okay? We're like oil and water. Esau and Jacob. I was a nephew, grandson of two common grandmothers. Both grandfathers were killed. So nobody took me hunting or fishing. Only went fishing twice, never caught, 2 or 3 times, never caught nothing. Hunting? With some friends, tearing down the back road because of over the hills and come over this one little hill practically off the ground. The deer ran across us in the road, just about hit the deer with the truck. Time we got out with the rifles, they're gone. I thought enough of that. Just about wrecked the truck. And no, my hunting is see the animal in the corral and drop him. Yeah. The guy from the slaughterhouse didn't even want the animal taken through the slaughterhouse because no. So they're going to take the kids out to the sheep farm tomorrow and see the little lambs. Oh, well, maybe some of them will become vegetarians after that if they realize where their lamb chop came from. Uh-oh. Yeah, it happens. Here, you mentioned this New Jerusalem coming down. Hey, you should maybe learn from this old fart. He's about my age. Yeah. 70. Yeah. This year. Yeah. My conception. Technically, on my license it says 9 months later. Okay. Hey. 9 months before, it's already happened. What was it going to say? New heaven and new earth. Coming down. The holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven. Hey, what's our high-tech knowledge of the size of the moon? Mr. American, you claim you went to the moon? I really question that. But you want to believe you went to the moon. What's the high-tech knowledge of the size of the moon? Well, it gives the dimensions here of something here. Okay, where is it? Read it through. Revelation 21. sorcerers. That's where we get the word pharmaceutical from. You can go 1823, Revelation 1823 warns about it. They measured the city with reed 12,000 furlongs. How big is a furlong? Well, we're not 100% sure of that. The wall. And it gives dimensions here. And guess what? He was within 10% of our present high technology of the moon. But we're not even sure of the size of the fathom. Mr. Contractor, with your 10% estimate on the contract, did say, well done. Okay? No, it's always cost plus, isn't it? Because there's little things that come up that you didn't figure on. As I wrote it down here, golden reed of the measure size of the moon. Yeah. Within 10%. But they want to be critical. Say, no, he didn't. Yeah. How long, what year was this written in? See? Daniel, the Orthodox Jews, they put it in a different section. My wife debated that. Hey, it's in her big book. You want to see it? Yeah. Here's my wife's big, just Hebrew Old Testament. Big book. Okay? Yeah, it's all backwards here. Right to left. Hey. Middle East? Chinese are up and down. Okay? Daniel, in with Esther. Why is that? Oh. Because it's too precise, so they put it in a different section than Isaiah and these other guys. Wow. They don't like Isaiah 53. No. That's talking about the state of Israel. Really? Okay. Come on, Rabbi Zachariah. Get serious. Is Israel a country now or not? Is it a sign of the times or not? Did Isaiah 29 happen? Yes or no? Huh? Fly away. Fly away. It's in Psalms 90. It's not in the Old Testament. Really? Who said? Have you read it? Here. How many chariots came with to get Elijah? How many does it say? 20,000. With thousands of angels. And who was with him? But he's only came once, he's only coming a second time. Really?
Yeah.
Where are they getting this stuff from? Yeah. Led captivity captive. Paul didn't want to cover about this part of the rebellious also. Well, Solomon had a problem, maybe. How many men did they have? Believe he had a problem. They had concubines too. Why? All the men were practically killed. Okay? But they're rebellious. Samson, I was going to say. He was rebellious, but later on he repented and tore down the temple. Okay? Brought everything down. So I think Paul kind of just left that part off. He didn't really want to open that can of worms, did he? Just kind of left that part. Led captive to be captive. That's the Ephesians 4, I believe. To where? To some cave to be with Enoch. Okay, really. See, when you really look at it, a lot of this stuff they're teaching, it doesn't hold water. It says cisterns without water. Psalms 9. What good is a cistern without water? Well, they throw Joseph down the well. Good thing there was no water in it, right? There it is again. Fly away. It's not talking about airplanes. Okay, have a good evening.
Hello?